And okay, there's some interesting things going on. So first of all, um, just actually, I think last week we actually visited Jay Fredge, and Jay Fredge, as you know, I said before, has created the careers of like Julia Salazar comes out from Jay Fredge, and there's other significant, a lot of significant politicos are coming from their camp and also are supported in very multiple visible ways. So they have a very strong operation. And if we take a look at Men Kwon, they also have some type of operations going on. We see that they started, they had someone running against Julie Won. Also, what's interesting is that John Cho, I believe, is there, the founder of Hilda Duel, but strangely, if you look at the online, like YouTube and stuff like that, you don't see, what's his name, you don't see John Cho around. You might think John Cho might be shy, but just so you know, John Cho recently was arrested for reading a book in a parking lot, so I don't think that's really, he was cleared, right, the cops went too far, and I think that he's actually suing them, I'm not sure, but the thing is that he's not really shy. He's willing to publicly confront and take the film and go to court and all this other thing. So he also very publicly, I think, ran for office, and he had something called Flushing Business, like some kind of like business association. So anyways, I also, of note, I believe out in Flushing is also, what's his name? Flushing is going to be Ron Kim. So is there a tie between Ron Kim and Min Kwon? Also, there's other organizations that I've been running around, right? There's another group called CACE, K-A-C-E. I think it's Korean American Center of Education or something like that. The guy's always doing something education related. I think he's more with CAGNY, which is Korean American Association of Greater New York. So there's, I would say the lead not-for-profits are going to be CAGNY. I'd say that's number one. Then I'd say number two is going to be maybe number two. Just for me personally, just from seeing the amount of activity, what they're doing. But KCF, there's like I think Korean Church Families or something like that. They're not really involved with the. See, now they're actually probably getting funded. KACF, I think. KCS, I think, is another one. There's a couple other Korean organizations out there. Now, once again, when I went back to take a look, there is evidence of what's his name, Ron Kim, actually funding Min Kwon with like I think 100K. Interesting. There's actually millions of dollars that are pumped into different organizations, but you don't really see Ron Kim around Min Kwon. Also, remember that Min Kwon also went against Julie Won and tried to put their own. Min Kwon tends towards the ultra progressive. I think they're being controlled by PSL, or at least being heavily influenced. They may be resistant. There's always faction, right? Of interest, I've actually contacted Min Kwon before, and they didn't really get back to me. Neither did CAGNY. Actually, when I saw CAGNY in person, he was actually on my Min Kwon, the CAGNY, I said the lead organization. I have a picture with the president of the association at the time. And when I saw him in person, I didn't film every second with him, but he said he was sorry that he didn't reply to my email. But I'm pretty sure he's being leaned on not to, or he just didn't have time for, I don't know, right? I really speak English. A lot of these older cats, they don't really speak as much English. That's another barrier to me working with this community, but that's not the stuff. So yeah, we're going to go investigate Min Kwon and see who's around and who's going there. I do want to, what's on the Republican side of things, I guess if he's on the more right-hand side, Ken Peck is actually, he got thrown off the ballot, so when I've reached out to him before, I think there's some kind of weird split going on. I heard there's actually 5 factions in Queens that are fighting for power. There's actually, okay, there's something called Asian Republicans, there's something like Yang Tan. These are Chinese people, by the way. And she tried to set up she has, I believe, set up a club in Brooklyn. Pretty well attended. Now, there's also another one that was set up by the establishment, which is going to be Penpec.
Attention passengers.
Alan, I think Alan something, and there's another guy named Phil Wang, I think. That's interesting. But they're not really crossing so much with Korean. It's more like Joe Chu is actually running that district right now against Grace May and Chuck Park. Now, I actually know Joe Chu. He's always been nice. But Joe Chu's actually, you can see he ran before, and he was actually running as an independent because Thomas Mitch had actually secured the line. And shout out to Thomas, my God. So I don't hold any beef, like, they were beefing at the time, they were just competing with each other. But, it was strange to me that Joe was actually supported by County this time, whereas before he was not. But, I mean, they just may have preferred the other candidates, which is fine, right? I have not been endorsed by County. Anyways, that's fine. Let's go back to talk about Kwon, actually. So, just so you know, before Grace Meng actually started, I believe, in State Assembly. And she actually ran against something like Elaine Kim or something like that for State Assembly. I think that was the first one where she kind of like entered the realm. And the thing is that, just so you know, oh, here's another interesting tie. You guys can check it. I have a playlist called Narratives about Korea, like investigations or something like that, right? So, Ron Kim actually worked for John Liu, and John Liu is actually a pioneer Asian American. And so there's that tied together. And actually, John Cho, who I mentioned before, used to work for John Liu, but I guess that they're not really seeing eye to eye. He said he was actually working for his campaign, and he may even have been an early campaign manager. So that's pretty interesting, right? And they actually cross over with my guy Nelson Marr, because I think they was going to the same school back in Stony Brook or something. Stony Brook was kind of known as a powerhouse of Asian American activism back in the 90s. Okay? So Min Kwon, I want to see who's there. I don't think they're really allowed to participate. You can see this up.
Stand clear of the closing door.
Alright, so. If you guys, I don't see anything in the chat right now. If you guys have any questions, I just want to see what's going on over in Kwon. Now, let's talk about some other investigations that I did before. So the thing is that if you look at Chuck Park, he actually made a speech 5 years ago on Min Kwon's YouTube page. Right? If you go look, the thing is that it's hard to find Min Kwon. So type in Min Kwon, type in Chuck Park, I guess, yeah? Because there's like another Min Kwon that's going to pop up. It's not easy to find. Or New York City, Min Kwon, New York City might pop something up. So Chuck Park, there's a speech with him 5 years ago. So that's pretty cool, right? That's reassuring to see that he's actually labeled as an activist 5 years ago. And there actually provides some clarification about his time as a diplomat. Like this morning I made actually, a lot of diplomats are spies. But, what was I saying?
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
But he actually did not go to Korea. He actually went to Mexico, which is an interesting assignment, right? So he just said he applied on the State Department. He was just fed up with his job, and I respect that. So, I think he's making a lot of decent points, and I don't see how it could be any worse than Grace May. His campaign is on fire right now. He's got a lot of people supporting him. He even got onto breaking points. I felt like the hosts were giving him weird looks, probably because of their interaction with myself. I've actually whistleblown on the People's Party, and I contacted Breaking Points. I'm blackballed from Breaking Points, as well as many other of those channels for whistleblowing what's going on in third-party space. So, honestly, don't think the people that Min Kwon, because I've called them before, I don't think they're really allowed to have a discussion with me But I want to see who's there. I want to see the people from CAGNY are there, the people from KSDF there, right? Linda Lee. Let me look her up again. I think. Oh, I don't think she's from Kwon. I think she's from somewhere else. So maybe Kwon's trying to install their own person into them. They have a lot of high-power personnel, but for some reason, what's his name? John Cho left the city. He's like touring the United States or something. A lot of the Democrats, especially the Asian Americans, like Mary Coffer, I don't think that maybe they just don't want. Maybe it's just scary to talk to. I don't know. But, anyways, if y'all have questions, I can't think of everything. You have questions about Maine Kwon? I'm excited to see their actually like years in the game. Hey, yo, I think you left gum or something, bro. All right. All right, let's think. What else? I don't really think I have to really. I just want to log what I'm gonna do there because I don't want to actually film at the event. So like I should actually probably to just document what's going on. But if I just spell out what I plan on doing beforehand, then it makes sense. So later on when I do my report, then I'll be like, oh well, this is when I did this, right? That way it's clear that's what I'm going here to do. They had their own stuff going on, but I will try to find a factor. I do want to actually make an inroad with the Korean American community. You can see that within my body of work. There's not a lot of crossover. I really had the most hope with the tool because being my mom's from North Korea, so I also like my anti-war stance is kind of like. Yes, it kind of, I don't want to see them blown off the map. People probably think carbon bombing is a solution. That's already been done, so I really don't want that yet. Sad. Anyways, I wonder what the Koreans there think. Yeah, it's not up to me. But it'll be interesting. I wonder if I can get some. I have footage in some of my other videos. Alright, so I'm going to save some batteries, but if I think of anything else, I'll just film it.